We've been involved here since 1960. This church has nurtured our children, and I've grown in my faith here. Taught the communicants class 10 years or so. So church is very important to us.
Well, it's just to make the person whole, to be involved with the church.
Church has always been just an incredible part of my life. To share with other people the worship of God. I think God, Jesus, has always been my big brother. I think every decision, everything I've gone through in life, I've always felt an incredible comfort that I've had God's guidance.
And this church, I think, was the first time that we really, that I really could understand what it meant to be in a church and have the fellowship of all of the people in the church, and that was really nice.
And I also just think that learning about Jesus every day in this church is great because it helps me learn what the church means to me.
So we have no family within 120 miles, so the church has meant so much to us.
Very much so.
Because this is our family.
Yeah.
In 1997, my husband passed away very suddenly, and the church was really there for me, and I felt that, I still feel that, in perhaps a slightly different way than prior to Joe's passing. It was incredible, and so many different people came forth.
I'm not sure a church can maintain the status quo and even maintain the numbers we have. And so I think it needs to grow.
There has always been a concern about the safety issue as well as the utility of the kitchen. It's extremely outdated. I would say that many of the appliances that we have in there are in excess of 40 years old.
That if we have more open space for meetings and gatherings, the children can be more involved. We can have more programs for not only the younger children, but the adolescents and the teens.
The fellowship hall is so important. The social hall is so important in the community of our congregation, and getting to know people one-on-one and learning about their lives and their families and what's important to them. The social hall is in dire need of being updated so that we can increase these types of programs and fellowship in our church.
One of the things that I hope the new building brings is an opportunity for an expansion of the existing children's programs, to take where it is and carry it to the whole new level by just having a facility that's large enough to accommodate more kids, more, let's call them teenagers and preteens.
The facilities that we already have are spectacular, and the building, the idea that we're going to maintain those and preserve those is important to us.
But I have heard other people who aren't as handicapped as we are saying they really would be happy when there would be an elevator here.
We are bringing new families into this church, and one of the things that they look at first is the nursery. And we want to make sure that the nursery is a nice place for their children to go to and a safe place as well.
One of the questions I've been getting from members of the congregation is, do we need a building, a facility this large? And I just wondered what kind of comments we might give them, or what response we might give them to that question.
Well, I think one strong message we got is mission. This has been a church of mission for many years. We've spent a lot of money on outward mission to other countries, and this is an opportunity to do mission here in Wyoming with our own church family, with our own church neighbors, to provide a facility that meets the needs of families and those who may want to become part of our church family.
I've not had anybody address the issue of the size to me, but people have asked about the dollars. And my response has been in a couple of areas. One is the elevators. We initially started looking at elevators 5 to 7 years ago, and the elevator itself was going to cost $1 million, and the elevator is critical to the older membership here because of the inability to get to the third level and to the lower level, to the social hall. Also, another issue that has been addressed or had been questioned was the bathroom facilities. And, you know, I think we get used to our facility and we kind of lose sight of what it looks like. We need to update our facilities in ways I might not have considered before, but other people had already noticed.
Sad fact is, we haven't done anything major to the church facility for nearly 50 years. And if we're ever going to make a difference for people, the time is now.
I think the other part that I would add to these answers is that we've had committees studying this for 3, 4, 5 years, and they've worked very hard. They've talked to many members in the congregation, and they've come back with a very workable plan for us, not only for today, but looking out 10 years.
I hope for growth. I hope for a renewed spirit in the church. And I hope that we can really affect the community, that there's a lot of need in our community that the church can help with.
One of the things that I hope this whole project does is bring a whole sense of community back to the church in terms of just having a physical space to allow the interaction and the social gathering that the church family really can provide.
But I think it's wonderful that people look at this as a cathedral in honor of God. And when you look at the cathedrals of Europe that were built by a lot of people that were poor, and they're for the glory of God. So
this new facility will take care of meeting the needs of our church family now and taking care of them, as well as to the new families that are moving into the Wyoming area, mainly because of the schools. It's important for us to be able to recruit this new blood into the church family, and this facility will do just that.
Looking forward at the future growth in the building, that's very exciting to me because I think that the opportunities are going to be endless for this church.
The time is now to share the vision, and I pray that the eyes of your heart may be enlightened. Ask not what you should do, but listen for what God would do through you. So one day, another generation will give thanks to our faith and witness, to the glory of Jesus Christ, and to the upbuilding of His church.